Here we are for another weekend of Ohio State football with the New York City Underground Power Spread. Heading down the game shortly. And this is probably the biggest concern of the year for me, this game. A bigger concern than even Michigan at the end of the year, because Northwestern is becoming more and more a power spread team, which is ironic because they were one of the originators of the power spread under Randy Walker back in the turn of the millennium. Actually, Urban Meyer and his staff with Dan Mullen went over there and got a lot of their stuff from him and Rich Rod down in Clemson at the time, and used that for the Bowling Green success that they had and all the power spread that's come after that at Florida and now at Ohio State. But, to be honest with you, Northwestern sort of went back to a passing spread pretty quickly, which is different from a power spread. There's not as much power, there's not as much running. It's a lot of short, quick passes like the old run and shoot or even the Joe Tiller offense at Purdue. So this isn't, this is still better than the old pro sets, but it's still not as effective when you spread the field and can run up the gut with power and can go deep and can go short and can go wide and can go in the middle. You use the whole field, and then on top of that, the play clock. All different tempos, super fast, medium fast, slow, whatever. Anyways, Urban Meyer and Tom Herman now do that at Ohio State. Pat Fitzgerald and his staff has sort of struggled with this. Unfortunately, and let's hope that we have a championship like we did in 2002 there with Jim Tressel here, my football, from actually January 2003. Anyway, Michigan doesn't quite worry me as much. Brady Hoke has done a great job there, but their style of offense doesn't worry me as much as this. Northwestern has the fastest quarterback, the best running quarterback they've had since Fitzgerald's been there with Coulter. They get their really dangerous scat back, Mark, back this week. He was out with injuries, and he's back this week. So he's also great on the return game, so that could be a problem too. So we could have all kinds of problems. If our defense continues to play with a lack of aggression, and now we should have had more aggression against Wisconsin, but against a power spread team, this isn't going to be the only thing. You can't just be aggressive. You can get burned really bad with the read option and deep passes and whatever, and everything. So you have to mix it up. So we haven't even been practicing aggression to even bring in the passive aggression and the mixing it up. There's different coverages, fake blitzes, look like we're in a zone, then bring a full house blitz. I mean, all these kind of things. We haven't even gotten to the aggression part that much, so this very much scares me. I think Northwestern is going to get their points today. The other thing is on offense, we have been more conservative than I expected, especially last week. This is a different opponent, so I'm sure we're going to, and Braxton Miller is second week back from injury, so I'm sure we're going to let it fly more. But I'm definitely nervous. This is by far the biggest pitfall of the year, in my opinion. If we get by this, I think we're good to go. Michigan will be tough, but I think we can run the table. The good news is Northwestern is not used to this kind of magnifying glass, big-time football at night. They're, all of a sudden being looked at as a big-time football program for the first time. They have a lot of starters back. People expect them to maybe upset Ohio State. That pressure could really get to them and lead to some major mistakes throughout the game. But we need to be at least somewhat aggressive and actually mix it up. If we start just piling on the aggression, we could get burned a lot. So this is going to be very difficult because we haven't even been practicing aggression. I'm not sure how this is all going to pan out. But because Urban Meyer is a great coach, has a great staff, we have obviously the talent edge. We have, missing Christian Bryant's going to be an issue a little bit. But I think we do have a lot of depth. Brown has been really underrated this year, Corey Brown. And Powell, as a redshirt freshman, has been playing well, and some of these younger kids have been playing well. So I'm not worried about our talent and our kids as much as I'm worried about how we approach this. And then the last thing is, what's going to happen on Northwestern's side? Because there's an issue there. Pat Fitzgerald kind of, when Randy Walker was there the last couple of years, they were sliding back to more of a passing spread instead of a real power spread and with diversity that the power spread brings with it. And this is because of the people. Once Kevin Wilson left as offensive coordinator, they went back to more passing on short passes with McGee at first, and then Fitzgerald let McGee go and then brought in McCall, who actually came to Bowling Green under Greg Brandon the year after Meyer left. But McCall he likes the more short passing spread more than he likes the running and the spread to run. He'd do it because he'd learned it over at Bowling Green, but this has been an issue in my opinion. But the last couple of years, especially with Coulter, they've been adding in the power spread, as I said. But now they have also been adding, switching quarterbacks a bit. Coulter gets most of the snaps, but they have another guy who's more of a drop-back passing guy. And again, the passing spread. So they won't just stick to an identity. They won't go full blast all the way. Defense, the same thing. They got the guy from who was a defensive coordinator under Bielema at Wisconsin, and they're changing. There's both of these guys, these coordinators and Pat Fitzgerald, are changing their philosophies slowly, and you can see it in the stat lines. Their rushing line has gone up the last couple of years. The defensive passing, they've let up more passing yards, but they've had more turnovers. And that's the key with the power spread defenses. You may give up more yards, but the bend but don't break. It's not like that. It's more of aggression. You may give up a big play here and there, but if you mix it up appropriately, you'll get your big plays back. You'll get your interceptions and your turnovers. They had a plus 14 turnover last year, did Northwestern, their best ever. Definitely under Fitzgerald. So, they're heading in the right direction. Is it fast enough? Are they ready for tonight? Let's hope not for Ohio State fans and for me. And if they are, then that could be our one loss of the year. But let's see what happens, and let's hope Meyer, especially on offense, gets much more aggressive. I mean, they're going to start out fast. That's what they've been doing all year. But we need to keep it. We need to mix that tempo. Not, start off fast, go real slow for the rest of the game. We need to start fast, then mix it up. But don't just go slow and never go back to the fast up tempo. Okay, I'm going to be heading to this play, which translates to blood wedding. After this play, I'll be heading right down to the game, and let's hope to goodness that we don't have a blood wedding for Ohio State tonight.